Honestly, I just want people to keep an open mind, man. Stay passionate about something that you're doing. Stay highly motivated and try to lead by example.
Let's go.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
To get inspired. This is the Go for the Goldy podcast.
Good evening. It's June 16th, 2021, and welcome to episode 39 of the Go for the Goldy podcast. Today I'm joined by a fellow on-run crew member who's a runner, personal trainer, youth mentor, and a running leader. Joining me all the way from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it's Leroy Miles. Leroy, thanks for joining me. What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Thanks for having me on. Just enjoying the weather here in Philly. It's been a couple of chilly ones.
Really? When you say chilly, what
Yes.
are we talking like?
In 1 minute, it'll be 88, and the next minute, it'll be 48.
What?
So,
Hard to not get headaches when that's going on.
yeah. So it's like one day you're like, oh, this is a nice day to run. And then the next day it's like, we're having 57 wind chills, and it's like it's June.
That's the East Coast, man. That's the East Coast. I'm originally from Buffalo, so we'd have those swings too when I was
Oh, my.
there.
Yeah.
I just got done running. It was I just did 4 miles outside. I'm in Dallas. It was 98 degrees when I was running, so it's
Oh, man.
it's like an oven outside. Yeah, but so thanks for joining me, man. I really appreciate it. If you just want to hop in, real quick and just kind of like introduce yourself, just do a brief intro. The floor is yours, sir.
Thanks. So, again, Leroy Miles from Philadelphia. Hobbies, I play chess. I do a lot of running. I just got into biking. So I'm looking to join a different group. So I'm starting to work on my first triathlon this year. So they talked me into it. I never turned down a challenge, so I'm not going to do it now and make an excuse. So I'm going to keep it going. Just got to get in the pool sooner or later. But other than that, mentor the kids, running, got different projects going on, running the community. So, and, pushing towards something more in terms of community engagement too as well. So
I love that. And I just, we've had this on the books for a while. I mean, I think we scheduled this like in March or something like that. So
yeah.
in all honesty, and I don't know you. This is the first time we're actually talking. I was just like, I'm really impressed that you were like, yeah, it's on my calendar, man. I'm good to go because I could have seen you being like, oh, I forgot about that. This idiot wants me to talk to him, But you do a lot of really cool stuff. Like I mentioned to you real briefly when I reached out to you. We'll get into that. But first of all, you're speaking my language when you said triathlon. That's my passion. That's what I do. So if you ever need any advice or anything, man, just let me know because I haven't been doing it for very long. I've been doing it for 4 years. But
Okay.
you seem like a very driven individual and a very passionate person who doesn't half-ass anything. So,
Nah.
I mean, there's a Team USA for sprint distance, which I'm on, which is what I compete at. So, it's awesome. And it took me places that I never thought I'd be able to go. I mean, I proposed to my fiance in Switzerland at the World Championships, and 3 years before that, if you were to tell me I'd be in that position, I'd be like, what? No, that doesn't make sense. So,
I understand.
yeah. So I'll tell you with the swimming part. I know you said you're not uncomfortable, but you just something you haven't done yet. You only get better by doing it. With cycling and running, you can ride a bike and anyone can run, right? But the swimming part is just like. It's such a foreign concept, but you can do it. You can definitely do it, man. So I wish you the best. I'll be following you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I need all the support.
I love it. Well, let's get into your laundry list of titles that I rattled off on the Saturday. So first of all, I came into contact with you through the On Run crew, and for those of you that don't know, On is a shoe brand that I am personally obsessed with, and I came across about 5-6 years ago when I was working Run Specialty, and they have a special ambassador program that you apply for, and I meet all kinds of cool individuals like Leroy here, and most of the people watching this or listening to this know my story. So I always like to, hear the story from other people that I've come across with or run into in the on-run crew too. So let's start with that. What's because I've talked to people in the on-run crew that do the elliptical, that are ninja warriors. The one girl's a power lifter, so it's not just running. So how did you get involved with the brand, and what sport, I guess, brought you to that brand?
So for me, I always been a sprinter, and now I had to get out of the sprinting phase for a bit to start running distance, and I needed a good shoe. Nothing against any other shoe companies, but I had Nikes, I had New Balance. I can do a short distance run. We're talking about now a marathon. I got a couple of shin splints and a few pairs of Nikes. And a friend of mine said, "Hey, have you ever heard of Owens?" I said, "No, I haven't. What is that?" So she said, "Hey, listen, go to your running store, which is Philadelphia Runner, get a pair, and we get discounts because I run with the kids under Students Run Philly style." So I went in there and they talked, and they gave me my first pair of Owens. I said, okay. I was a little skeptical at first. I looked at how, this is kind of weird. The holes into the bottom of the shoe.
They look different, yeah.
Yeah, very different. I said, I don't know about this. So, of course, one of the people that worked there was like, hey, listen, I know it looks kind of weird. Try it on first before you walk out of the store. So I did. So these feel comfortable. But I thought it was like more of a walking shoe instead of a running shoe.
Okay, yeah.
So the first pair, I put them on, went out for my first run. And I didn't realize I was running that fast in those shoes. And I was not tired. And when I came back, I had shaded. It was like a 4-mile run. It was an up and back route. And I came back and looked at my watch. I said, wait a minute. Did I just shade off a couple minutes? Like, running with these shoes? Like, seriously? And then I dogged them out. Like, I ran every race after that because I thought it was like a fluke.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, oh, man, I said, no, I like these. So I went and got another pair. And I just started looking into them more. Like, I started researching more. Like, okay, nobody really has them. They're out here. They're selling them like hotcakes now in Philly.
Yeah.
But I wasn't a part of the, that part where, hey, you should try this until someone told me.
Right.
I wound up getting a second pair. And now I'm like 13 pairs in at this point. I even tried out their trail running shoe. And I'm like, this shoe is comfortable.
Yeah.
And I don't feel any pain. I ran the Marine Corps Marathon, the Philly Marathon. I wound up doing the crazy challenge with the Owens. So I did a half marathon and an 8K all in one day.
Damn.
And a marathon the next day.
Oh my God. Where's that?
That was in Philly.
Oh my
God. It's called the Freedom Challenge. And you run the 13.1 first, and you got to get back to the finish line at a certain time, and then you go back. I had 10 minutes to line back up again for the 8K.
10 minutes? Oh my God.
Yeah, because I just got back,
crazy.
literally, and I'm like, oh my God. So I ran back over, laced my shoe back up, and then like went right back out there on the course, and then I sprinted all the way back to the finish line. And then the director of the mentoring program I'm with was like, where did all that come from? I said, I don't know. It was adrenaline pushing. You see me in the sneaker just running.
It's amazing when your adrenaline starts going and you got like, because I'm sure people knew that you were doing it. Like, at least for me, when you're doing like feats of crazy stuff like that, in the back of your mind, you're like, I can't fail. Like, there's just not the option for me to fail. And you just hit this gear that you didn't know existed. So I know what you're talking about, man. I love that.
And then like the next day in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, I just ran an 8K and a 13.5 half right now, like just today. But tomorrow I gotta run a marathon in the morning, like 26.2 miles here. So I was like, yeah. So I ran that, and I actually sprinted the last quarter mile. And they're like, where did you get the energy from? I said, it was the people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There was so many people out there, and they saw the shoe. They're like, what do you have on? And I already felt like I said, I could promote it. I mean, at this point, hey, look, if you didn't have these, you're not going to do what I'm doing. So.
I love it, yeah. It's like the, there's like a joke, this like old lady, she turned like 105, and they asked her, what's your secret to living to 105? She's like, yeah, I eat rocks or I eat pine cones every day. Just saying something stupid just to trick people, but you could have said anything. No, that's really cool, man. Is that a part of like the Philadelphia Marathon, or is it just like its own? Oh, okay. So
yes, that's the Philly Marathon decided when I first did it in like 2015. They actually had the half marathon and the full on the same day. So you would see people breaking off in waves, coming out of the finish line together, but splitting up.
Right.
And they couldn't hold the street for that long. So they figure, hey, let's do the half marathon on a Saturday, do the full on a Sunday, and we can turn it into a challenge if people want to do half and full.
That's a crazy. Yeah, I like that idea. That's wild, but that's a cool idea.
Yeah. So then it was a success. And I ran both like an idiot. First time out there, didn't know what a marathon was, and I'm out there doing this challenge for my first race.
Wait, what? Wait. Okay. So because I was going to ask you about that too. So you said you were a sprinter, and then like you transitioned to marathon. I mean, I don't think that's common, right? Like I don't.
No.
Yeah.
No. So everyone that I met, actually, I ran 100 meters, the 200, 4x1, 4x2. I did the 4x4 every now and then when my coach needed me to. And I did cross country also, but I didn't put the passion in the cross country the way I would do track and field like this. So
and cross country still, 5K.
5K, yeah. So it's like I'm running with these kids. I'm like, hey, I'm out here telling these kids to do this. So why not hold myself accountable too? I got kind of broken in after running the Broad Street run, my first 10 miles ever. And ran that, and I did my first Broad Street run in like 2 hours and 40 something minutes because I didn't know what I was getting into. I trained the next year and got done in 1 hour and 34 minutes.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
I was like, I'm not going to let this like Broad. I said I ran Broad Street when I was running for the bus in school. Like, I know this. Like I know I can do this. So I ran it. Next year was 134. I'm like, okay. And then I was trying to knock it down to like a 109, but that's when they, at that time I couldn't because my student, his mom went into the hospital. He was feeling down. So I stayed with him the entire time. We talked. I got him out of his head, and we still was able to kind of get done in an hour. The same time we got done last year, we got to the same exact time the current year.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because I wanted him to get out of his head because his mom was okay. She was just in the hospital. We just ran it, and I think because he was thinking about her that much, that we got done that fast.
That's incredible. I mean, I've always been an athlete. I haven't always been a runner, but just the relationship I think that I've had with sports that coincide with events that have happened in my life. I think without sports, I don't know how I would have coped with that. Without the training and. Just having the events to kind of to take the focus away from negativity and kind of channel that towards positivity. I don't get how people don't do some kind of physical activity. I think I think it's innate in us. I think we're wired for it one way or another. Not everyone has to run marathons. Even if you just go out there and run a mile a day, I mean that compounds, over the course of, a week, a month, a year, and just it's kind of like a reset button almost. If you're having a bad day and you just go out and run a mile and come back, it's like it's a second day. You know what I mean? Like it's just I love that story. I don't know what the kid was going through or what happened, but just to channel that energy to a positive event like that and to be there for him, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So like part of the mentoring program with students run is that it's not just about running when it comes to the kids. We're basically all over the Philadelphia school district. So I talk to tons of kids. We even have a running camp, literally a running camp. They go away and they see me again, and then we spend all this time together in the camp in the woods, and we run and we work out and we make s'mores and we have fun and we run again. And then after that, we send you home. At that point, you made new friends in different schools that you don't go to. So now, you would call out like B5 or C12, and they got these names for the cabins they were in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like when you see your cabin mate, you're gonna say, hey, be more, B5, and all that. And they get together, and even at all the student run events, you see like all the camaraderie for everybody.
That's really cool.
And all the students, like, they liked me because I'm that energetic person. I like to push them past their limits. I like to race them just because I know that they're fast, but they're just being lazy at the time because they're a little nervous.
Yeah.
So,
well, there's a lot to that. I mean, it's that feeling of community. It's the camaraderie. It's the, like, we're all in it together kind of thing. And when you're not going home every day, you're kind of forced to be uncomfortable, but it's in a good way, right?
Right.
I mean, you're going to be meeting people that if you were doing the camp at home, you'd be doing the same kind of stuff, but then they'd go home and talk to their old friends, or talk to their circle of friends that they already have, right? I mean,
right.
When you first told me what you did, I just immediately, if you've ever seen Remember the Titans, that's like immediately what it reminded me of, running through the woods,
Yeah. I mean, my first experience with the run camp, I was like, a run camp? What is that? I didn't know what it was. I went my first year as like one of the running leaders there for the kids. And I'm like, so this is what we do, sleeping bags. And they said, make sure you bring nothing but running clothes. Extra shorts, extra socks, because we're going to be in the heat and we're going to run.
And how long is it?
Just for like a week or so, a couple of days. We had it for the weekend when I first started. So we're trying to push it for like almost a couple of days. But the parents get this like miscommunication when we say, hey, we're going to get them on Friday. They'll be back Sunday. They take their whole bedroom and bring it with them. I'm like, no, we're going to send your kids back.
Yeah, no PlayStations, no Xboxes.
Yeah, like, I'm not sure what's in this bag, but it can't be just your clothes. Like,
now, how old are the kids that you're dealing with?
They're from 6th grade to 12th.
Okay, wow, that's a pretty big. So everyone usually gets along too. Do you see a lot of like older kids, like kind of like mentoring the younger kids too?
Yeah, so part of the program I actually like about it is like, so the kids would know they actually were in that place before. So you was a kid, you was in 6th grade. Mm-hmm. You got somebody older that you're gonna be nervous around because you think they're gonna pick on you or something. Mm-hmm. But the way how these kids are now in the group, they know, listen, you wear that blue shirt, students run. It's a respect thing here. It's like respect to them regardless of what the age is. They're just nervous. But I do see the older kids, they like make friends with them. Like, they talk to them, and when they see them, they hugging each other, they talking, they're having a great time. And then you see them again, we in like races and stuff. So the Broad Street Run, for instance, those same kids will be running with an older student together.
That's cool.
And they hold each other accountable.
Because you'll see, I mean, I'm sure there's, I know in Buffalo and obviously in Dallas it's huge. There's races everywhere all the time. And I'm sure there's a lot of crossover where, you may not even be planning on going to, the same race, but you'll see someone and be like, oh, hey, what's going on? And, hang out with them after the race and all that, or even run with them like you said. And that's really cool, man. So did you make this up, or where did it come from?
Students Run?
Yeah.
So Students Run actually started in Los Angeles, actually. It was called Students Run LA.
It's a nationwide thing, or is it?
So it is in Philly and LA at the moment. And New Orleans, I'm sorry. I apologize. New Orleans also. So it's Students Run LA, and you got Students Run Philly, and then you got Students Run NOLA. And then you have Camden partner site too, like Students Run, but it's called I Run This City. So it's like I Run Camden.
Where's Camden?
So it's in New Jersey.
Oh, gotcha.
So so they're all like partnering up with that, but it actually started in Los Angeles. So I actually got the opportunity before the pandemic actually got crazy to go over to Los Angeles to meet the founders and president and people have started the program over there.
Oh, that's cool.
So what we did was we brought the Students Run Philly gear, and they gave us Students Run LA gear, and we decided, swapped it over.
Yeah, so it's like the soccer players when they take their jerseys off and do a swap. Yeah.
Yeah, so we did that, and they actually wanted me to stay. So, I actually like gelled with the kids before I left. So we ran the LA Marathon together.
Oh, nice.
And we were talking, and the kids were like, "Are you coming back?" I said, "Yeah, I'll be back, but not with how you think I'm gonna be back. I had to wait until this pandemic is over with, then I'll come back." But they wanted me to actually stay there, and I was messing with my director of the program, and good friend. They're friends of mine. I said, how would you guys feel if I leave and stay here in LA with students run LA? They was like, no, you're coming back to Philly and you're not going anywhere. Like, I was like, I mean, for a couple more days, can I stay here? You know, like the kids actually like me here. You know, I'm not saying the kids don't like me in Philly, but I mean, they just welcome me with open arms.
Yeah,
here, you know?
yeah.
Just, can't beat that.
No, that's really cool, man. And LA, I mean, the weather's a little different than Philly, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that was my main reason for trying to stay longer. It was like, no, you can come back.
That snow, man, that snow gets super depressing. It weighs on you after a while, for sure.
Oh yeah. I was like, I can actually make a living out here. I mean, I could go to students run, and I could still find a job in IT over here. I have family over here. I'm fine.
Oh, do you?
I have family over in Orange County. So Orange County, yeah. So he wanted me to stay too. Oh no, you're good. He wanted me to stay too.
What part of Orange County? Do you know?
I'm not too sure. He just said Orange County, but I know he's over there because he met me when I got to the hotel. He wanted me to stay with him.
Gotcha.
But he didn't know what day I was coming.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I went to my freshman year of college. I went and played football at Chapman University, and that's in Orange, and that's in like the city of Orange, town of Orange, whatever it is, in Orange County. So I was out there for a year, and yeah, beautiful stuff, man. It is like every day I'd wake up and walk around and be like, I feel like I'm in a movie. Like this is Mike. Actually, the movie Accepted. Have you ever heard of the movie Accepted? With so that where they make the fake like campus. Well, that fake campus was actually the real campus of the college I went to. That was filmed at my school where I went for that first year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a big film school. That Thing You Do was also filmed there. What else was it? In Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington, like the last courthouse scene. Like that's the main building on campus. So yeah, it was a big film school, but.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would never have known that.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't either if I didn't go to school there. So, I want to like back up a little bit because I'm still super intrigued by how did you make the transition? Like, so you were a sprinter and then you just decided because you were mentoring to start running marathons. How long was that transition, or were you just like, screw it, I'm just diving in, I don't care, let's go?
Well, it wasn't long because I would say I was actually still running track, and I came off of an injury with my left knee. I had the bone pop out a little bit, so like I was kind of like back in that therapy mode. But they said I can go back out and run. I was scared to actually walk. So running wasn't even in the resume for me at that point. So,
but you're an athlete, so why the hell would you ever listen to a doctor, right? I mean, we all kind of have that mindset, yeah.
I just slapped the knee brace on and said, "Hey, the hell with it, I'm out."
He doesn't know what he's talking about, yeah.
Yeah, I got humbled on that real quickly. I realized, this is reality right now. Sit down.
And I also right now, real quick, I just want to praise you for using the term humbled. Like that is one of my biggest pet peeves. People use humbled like all the time. You know what I mean? They'll like, post something on Instagram or Facebook to be like, just graduated high school, I'm so humbled. Or graduated college with like a 4.0, I'm humbled. Like, what do you mean that's humble? Like, no, it's not. Like, replace humbled with embarrassing, because that's like the same, embarrassed. Like, it's like the same thing. You know what I mean? So I just want to give kudos to you for using it in the right context, because I tried my biggest pet peeves when people use it the wrong way. But go ahead, sir.
No, you're good. But I decided, so when I started with Students Run, that's the same year I started with Students Run, I started with Black Men's Run. So I was like, okay, these guys are running distance so 5 miles is not too bad. I can do a 5 mile run. That's cool. Then afterwards, hey, you want to do this, up at the Broad Street run? That's 10. Fine. Next thing you know, hey, you want to try out for a half marathon? And I said, what's that? So I was like a half marathon. Explain to me what we mean by half marathon.
And that's how you know that you're new to running, when you don't know what a half marathon is. Yeah,
exactly. So he said, it's 13.1 miles. I said, back up. So I ran 10. He said, so what's 3 more? I said, a lot.
Yeah, especially like when you're at that 9 mile mark, you're like, I got 4 more friggin' miles. What the hell?
Yeah, like what's going on here? So then like I went out and I ran a half marathon for the first time. Didn't know, again, getting myself into this. I'm just slowly jogging, getting tired because I'm not used to this type of running.
Yeah.
So for me, I got fed up for that guy always coming in with the rest of the team is already back, and some of us are still out there, and I'm out there, and I don't have that. I'm gassing out too early, or like the last stretch, I'm like trying to push it, and I just held myself accountable. I say, you know what? If I'm going to continue to do this, I got to start upping my mileage when I'm out here running by myself. So I just took it upon myself to start, got back in the gym, got on the treadmill, started working out more. Then I went out and I ran. One time I ran to the gym, worked out, and ran back home. So I just got my body adjusted to still doing my sprints, but running those longer distances now, getting back, breaking the times that I want. Like, instead of me doing a 2 hour and 25-minute half, I knocked it to literally 2 hours.
Wow.
So
that's
I'm
a huge drop.
Yeah. So they wow. And I recently I did that this year, actually.
Nice.
Because I couldn't do it. Thank you. So I wound up doing it. It was 2:14 the second time. This time, just literally when the clock said 2 hours, I was already across the line.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, okay, then we're going to do 1:45. So I'm challenging myself every time I go out here to run.
Yeah.
And the marathon is now, again, got humbled at the Marine Corps because we had a monsoon in Washington, D.C.
Oh.
The water was rising. I'm running through the trenches, and my shoes are wet. I'm over it.
Yeah.
Got done a 5-hour marathon. I didn't care.
Yeah.
Got past the White House, and you just see the sun just pops up, and it's dry, but everybody's soaking wet. So if I was to tell you that I got caught in the storm, you probably say I was lying.
Yeah, sure. Was it uphill the whole time too? Yeah.
yeah. So it's what? And I'm I sprinted back because I wanted to just be done.
Yeah.
So mile 24 and 25, I was full stride. I saw the finish line. I gave the 100-meter dash, got to the top of the hill, got saluted by the Marines, and I fell down to the ground and said, I just need to rest.
Yeah.
Because the fight wasn't the distance. It was the stuff with the distance.
Yeah, that sucks.
It was the water, rising from the river, coming over onto the path.
That's crazy.
My
That's
headphone, it was. It was. I lost friends. We were already together, but I don't know what happened when the lightning hit.
Scared. Every man for himself, yeah.
Yeah, it's sorry, buddy. We'll see you at the finish line. If you get there, just call us. So,
but I'll tell you, that's what drew me to the sport. I actually wrote an Instagram post today about it, but I just love the idea that with endurance type sports, and obviously the longer you go, the more this rings true. But you just can't fake it. When that race comes, it's your effort that you've put in for months ahead of time is coming to fruition. You can't just rely on your athletic ability, because that really doesn't exist in this kind of sport. I mean, sure, people, I'm a short Italian guy. I'm 5'6", so I'm not your typical endurance athlete, but I'm going to outwork everyone that I possibly can. So. Right. I train my ass off, and I'm obsessed with that moment of, like you said, crossing that finish line, and that moment when you collapse and you gave it your all. Maybe 5-10 minutes after that feeling, I just start going, what if? Well, what if I trained a little bit harder? What if I didn't miss that one day or couple days of training there? Or what if I push it a little harder on my fast days? Or you know what I mean? And it's like the chasing the dragon thing, I guess, with drugs. It's it's that first time I crossed the finish line, it's every time now I'm always thinking, what if? Like you said, you were running 2:15, now you're in a 2. What about 1:45? What's the limit of impossible? And it's just trying to find where that is constantly and never ending. And that's what I love about it. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, because I have people that we hold ourselves accountable, but we also, hold each other accountable too, because we know we could push each other past our limits when we're out here running. With Students Run, I got people that my support system on Students Run. A bunch of great people that I'm around. One of they work for Students Run. So Lauren Koblar, Aisha Nelson. I got my other running leaders is Jill Morris and Amanda Collette. Jackie Joyce. Justin. We do this for the kids to run, and then we go out and train. And then I got my team for Black Men's Run. The other two captains, Lawrence Harrington and George Morris. We hold each other accountable. We push each other so much that we know what we can do.
I love that. Yeah.
We call each other up. We always on group runs. We hold each other accountable because we know, hey, listen, if one of us slacking on something, we're going to push the other person.
Yeah.
We're going to be there for the other person. So our training methods and things that we do is not just a solo mission for us. It may be at some point because of our work schedules, but when we all get together, it's a crazy thing. We come out knocking out times back to back to back. You like, did I just do that?
Iron sharpens iron, baby. I say that all the time. Yeah.
Yep.
There's no hiding. There's no hiding, especially when you're to be held accountable for what you're doing. And especially, like, what's real interesting about your situation is that you're kind of getting it from both ends, where, you're with a dedicated, motivated group of adults who, you're holding each other accountable on that end. But at the same time, you're a mentor, for a bunch of kids. And how's it going to look when you're like, you know what, I wasn't feeling like it today, so I didn't go. Or,
right.
It's so you're really like, getting it from both sides there. And I love that. I think that's really cool, man.
Yeah, because the kids, they come in like that. They come in not feeling like they want to do anything.
Yeah.
I come in, I talk a lot because I figure if we're not going to run the 2 or 3 miles, I'm going to walk the 2 or 3 miles. But while we're doing that, you're going to tell me what's going on with you.
Yeah.
So by the time you realize that you had this long conversation, guess what? We're done. You did 3 miles. Congratulations.
Yeah,
you
I love that. Yeah.
So they I didn't even realize we walked that far. Yeah, because we were having a conversation. It's all about you. It's not about me. When I'm with those kids, it's never about me. It's about them. I keep it that way. But somehow, in some way, they wound up checking up on me away from the program. Like, hey, we just checking in. We ain't hear from you. Then the parents get involved and they start checking up on me. So it's like wow, I made that much of an impact to these students.
Yeah,
and the parents really I had one parent tell me, she said, I thank you so much for getting my daughter off the couch because I would never thought she would have ran a Broad Street run ever.
That's so cool.
Like that. And I'm like, well, I didn't get her off the couch. You kind of did that part because she lives with you, but you brought it to the program and then I took care of the rest.
Yeah, that's right. Team effort. It's a team effort.
Yeah, it's a team effort right there. I didn't go to the house and say, get up off the couch. We got to go. You kind of did that part and brought it to me. And then now you guys are running. And even now, they graduate high school and they come back as junior running leaders to help out the rest of the high school kids and middle school kids. So that's the impact that we put on them for the students' run perspective.
So it truly is a community. I mean, that's just kind of building upon itself over the years.
Yeah. They've been around for a while now. Black Men's Run came into play 2012, I believe. It's based out of Atlanta and it's national.
Okay.
So we're all over. I'm in the Philly chapter. I'm friends with people in all the other chapters in Florida and DC and LA. So we talk to these guys on Instagram. If we happen to go on vacation in these areas, we hit those guys up, let them know we're coming, and they come with they meet up with us and go on group runs together.
That's awesome. I love that. That's so cool. And you said it's Black Men Run, right?
Yes.
So what we'll do is I do this for every show, but when we're done here, just shoot me a DM with some links to these websites or maybe whatever, Instagram, Facebook, however, anyone who's interested in any of these can get involved. And I put it in the notes. And they'll live on YouTube and on Spotify and all the other podcast platforms, just so anyone listening to this now and forever will be able to click that link and
definitely. We have a lot of content for Black Men's Run. We're doing a lot of stuff right now. Like for me in Philly, of course, I'm pretty sure everyone watches the news. They know about the youth gun violence that's happening rapidly in Philadelphia. A lot of activists and representatives are getting together to do their part. And Black Men's Run Philly, we collaborated with another run group, Swagger House Run Club. So you have a Latino group, running group, and an all-black running group combined together. to make this hood to hood run series that we.
I saw that. That's what was on your Facebook. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So yeah, that's a great segue here, man. That was pretty. You read my mind. Yeah. So keep talking about that. I was really interested in
that. We were running. We met Swagger House last year. They just started a club up. They had a fellow runner that actually lost their life to suicide.
Oh no!
And they ran in his honor because he was supposed to run a marathon. And what happened in that moment, they got together and said, "Hey, listen, trauma is real. We know that people who say they're okay are really not okay. They just don't want you to bother with them. We know trauma is real." And they went to the furthest extent to say, "Hey, let's start this group for the Latino community and start to bring people in that are dealing with trauma and dealing with different things, so they know that we're dealing with the same thing, but how we get away from it is, you talk to other people, you running with other groups, just us." So Black Men's Run is kind of the same. We have our slogan with the Healthy Brotherhood on the back of our shirts. That's what we're promoting. And we don't look at it as just being just about, it's not about, oh, you got to be Black just to run on our group. No. We do it for all races. It's just the fact that we know that it's always hitting us heavier in the Black community because a lot of us don't get up to try to exercise. We really don't go to the doctor that much. So we're trying to take that stereotype and wipe that clean. So you see these guys out here doing this stuff across nationally now. Everybody's up and running. The numbers are climbing from now it was just middle-aged men to now we got teenagers on the team.
Wow.
Running with us. So it's like if we got them running and they run track in high school and stuff, they still manage to come out on the weekends or weekday group we run, and you see them out here running with us all the time.
Well, you're mentors.
Wow.
I mean, you're role models. You're the men that maybe some of them don't have in their lives. And it's
right.
It's their window into what's possible beyond high school, because I'm sure it's in any city, not just Philadelphia. You can get sucked into a pretty shitty lifestyle and a pretty bad way of living life. It's real easy to go one way or another. I mean, when I was 18, I was a dumbass. I mean, I'm still a dumbass, but there's your life is just a series of decisions that you make, and
right.
It's really you can go one way or another, and you just over the course of time you trend one way or another, and every little better decision that you can persuade a kid to make. I mean, that's a really powerful thing, man.
Yeah. So what happened with that? We got so tired of hearing on the news kids getting shot. Somebody gang it was, and for me it hit home. It was personal because I lost a cousin that was 15 to gun violence this past March. And
sorry to hear that, man. That's tough.
Yes, we wound up. One of the captains, George Morris, was like, "Hey, we need to go over and make our presence felt over there and show love to the family." At the time, I didn't know that was my family, so
oh wow,
I got back on the chat and I said, "Hey, that was my little cousin," and I said, "I'm related to the mother." So when they found that out, it was even more of an urgency. To come out. So they had a balloon release that I want to say that Thursday, and we wound up meeting up in West Philly, and we ran about maybe 3 or 4 miles over to the where the incident had happened, and then we went over to the actual track and did a balloon release. But we had our Black Men's Run flag held up high, and we had people from Swagger House came over. Another organization is called Legacy of Hope. They're located in West Philly, so they help out with a lot of families dealing with members that are dealing with cancer. So we partner with them to do a lot of things, like we for them as well. One of the director came out. I have running leaders from Students Run Philly came out to show the love too and the support and ran with us.
Wow.
Over to it. So when my cousin saw that, the news cameras was out there as well. I wasn't worried about trying to get it on some media based thing. It wasn't about that to me. I don't really care about that. It happens, whatever. But I came over there for the strength of my family. So when that happened, that's when we knew at that point, that was part of our idea to say, hey, listen, the love we got, we turned that corner and got to that track with all of us together combined like that. we made an impact and may say, hey, listen, this is more than just a run group for us.
That's powerful.
And then we got together and they was like, hey, listen, what do y'all think about doing like a hood to hood series? Like, I said, what do you mean? He said, we can just run through the city on one day. It was only supposed to be one day we run through the city, but you're talking about Philadelphia.
Not small.
So,
not small.
Yeah, not small at all. I said, we're talking about Philadelphia, and everybody is not from the same area as other runners. So it's like, okay, that we're going to do it on a 2 week thing. It's Philadelphia. You can't do it in these like every Monday you're running this. No. So it's like, okay, we wound up combining this whole thing. We ran through. Our first stop was Southwest Philly, where a kid got killed in that area by the rec center, and we went around there and ran about 5 or 6 miles, ran up the streets, giving shout outs to black owned businesses, and also just talking to the kids in the community to see how they're doing, and we letting them know, listen, we're out here to make this presence felt, and it's not just about us running. Farther down the road, we like, hey, listen, the love we got in Southwest the first time for my cousin, and the love we got again, we ran just to be running out there to show them that the hood to hood thing is about to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They was clapping, the bus stopped, the cops stopped, ambulance stopped, fire department stopped, and they was just clapping because they like, we wanted to stop the violence. But the problem was that, hey, wait a minute, we're wearing our jerseys, like Black Men's Run, Swagger House. We put a jersey together that said Hood to Hood Run Series. Then we got a flag that said Stop the Violence, and got that. Once that came out and once that happened, then after the fourth run, we knew we had something going.
Wow. Because
we hit every part of Philly at that point. And then my area is the Strawberry Mansion area. So I got friends from here that we lost, and I got friends that made it, and I told him what I was doing. He came down with his camera. He's a photographer. He has a thing now too that he's doing for the youth. When I turned to the park to meet up, it was like so empowering to see, like, wow, did they come out here to see us do this?
That's amazing.
And this was just past Monday. They said they come out. And then when we ran and we did the whole like shoot, they were like, we were running through my neighborhood. You see everybody. We got our slogan, miles up, guns down. That's what we yelled every time we got down there.
Wow, I like that.
And my buddy that does photography has one, shoot cameras, not guns. So we kind of combined with that also. And we like pumping this stuff out to the neighborhoods because it was good to see a familiar face in the neighborhoods you grew up in and made it out of. Mm-hmm. Because that gives that kid a light.
Right.
It gives them like, hey, there is opportunity for me. This guy right here made it, or these guys right here made it.
That's right. I'll tell you, it sounds like a snowball at the top of a mountain, just going down and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But it sounds like there's no bottom to this mountain. You know what I mean? No. I'll tell you, I have chills from you telling me that story. I mean, that's what a powerful movement, and I just think nowadays there's too many people. We're tribal people. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are, where you live, what corner of the planet you're from. We all want to identify with different things. I mean, that's what we want to do. And I think now with the invention of the internet and social media, just being as prevalent as it is, I think people are like worshiping false idols, or like it's like a false sense of group. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes, definitely.
If I just like go online and just like parrot, whether I'm a Republican or a Democrat or I'm black or white, or, if I want to identify with that group, I just say one thing on Twitter, it'll get me a bunch of likes, and then I feel like I'm a part of a group. But you're not a part of a group. You're not even thinking for yourself. You're just parroting what people are saying, where, what you're doing is just truly, deeply meaningful stuff that you've created from scratch. I mean, you're a major part. And then, the unfortunate event of your cousin, to take a negative, incredibly negative situation like that and flip it to a positive, but not even by your own doing. I mean, that was, your group. What a feeling that must have been to see your group, not knowing that you were related to him, to want to support that, I mean, that's a really deep, powerful like sense of community and meaning right there. I can imagine.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when they said it to me, I said, "Hey, that's my cousin." It was more meaningful then because we look out for each other.
Yeah.
And that's where a healthy brotherhood comes in at with us. And people always say, well, we have the negative stuff where, oh, why does it have to be black men's run? Why can't be just men running or something like that? I'm like, it's not what you're thinking. You need to get out of that mindset and stop that, because we already got enough of that right now just being black.
That's right.
I don't need you to come off.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Is you just are in this. People are just in this lane, and they just think one way, and they can't even fathom understanding like where other people are coming from, and that's got to stop. Like that just has to stop. People have to just understand how people think and talk instead of just like attacking.
Right.
It drives me nuts, man.
Because the one lady asked me, I went to the bike store, and she said, "Well, she asked that question?" And I said, "Well, what's the problem?" She said, "Well, do you accept women into the group?" I said, "There's always women running with us in our group, but it is a Black Girls Run group that actually is also started and based out of Atlanta, and that's national also." I said, "But we don't discriminate on women running with us. They can, a lot of women actually come out and want to be part of a group to run, because the ones they've been a part of just wasn't for them. Like, they don't feel that team thing. They don't feel that family feeling. We're like, we have a whole thing. No man left behind. If you're a beginner as a runner, we're not leaving you. We're going to stick it out with you, and we're going to push you too, because we want you to come back."
Well, it's like you said with the kids. It's not about the running per se. It's about getting the kids in a better mindset and giving them support. It's not who's the fastest kid at camp, and then see you later, never see you again. Like that's not what. Yeah.
No, that's not what you're trying to promote. Like for students run, it's like everyone's not a teacher. That's like we don't work in the schools. I work in IT. I got people in the military. I got people that work just in the corporate America, and ones that went to college, got education. And nurses, doctors. So I would tell these kids, you got resources right surrounding you that's running with you every day.
That you don't even know.
All you gotta do is you don't even know it.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is ask the question, and I can point you in the right direction. The same thing with Black Men's Run. People have careers, so we're out here running through the community and talking to these younger folks. Hey, what y'all running for? They stop us. We stop and talk, and they take pictures with us. They say, "Hey, can you do this corner?" You got people clapping for us, saying, "Hey, y'all, we need to come out here with y'all and do this with y'all." Like that's what we wanted. We wanted that support team from the community, and now the community see it.
Yeah. And
this last Hood to Hood run that we just did was like so epic that it went viral without me even knowing.
That's so cool, man.
I woke up to 165 likes.
Wow.
on my personal page and on a Black Men's Run page.
Wow.
And then I got hit up by a person that works at the Philly Inquirer out of nowhere. And I'm like, what? I said, what did y'all put up there? Because I didn't know what they put up there at this point. I got a lady contacting me, asking me if she write about me. I'm like, no, because I don't know. Like, who are you? First of all, I don't know who you are. You don't just send a message to ask me if we write about.
Just that lady from the running store going, "Why is it black men? Why is it?"
And I even invited her out. I said, "You want to come out and run? You're more than welcome." Because we did a thing.
That's the way to do it, man. It's not. You don't just get argumentative. You say this is.
You want to come out? You're more than welcome. Because last October we decided to do the whole domestic violence awareness month, against women. Mm-hmm. We invited all women running groups out to this run. So every Saturday morning, a different group of women came out.
That's
and
awesome.
We ran with them and saw, so they respected what we were doing.
Yeah.
So it was already on a mark of doing something that was community, engaged, and like it was an impact that we put on there. So like in return, we had the LGBT come out, their group, the women came out, and one of them actually works for Students Run. So I know her.
Oh wow, cool.
So she brought her
so much
group
crossover
out.
In the community. That's
exactly.
Really, yeah.
So we like, oh yeah, I know her. Yeah, we talking, and then she got her group to come out. We ran. We put it on social media so they can see what we're trying to do. This is not just like, oh, I'm trying to do this to get the likes. We're
but
serious
that's the
about
thing
what we're doing.
too. Is it's like we all identify in certain ways, right? Like earlier I said I'm a little Italian guy. Well, I'm not Italian. I'm American. My family came here from Italy in the 20s, whatever. But like you're a black guy. I'm a white guy. But like with the black men run, like you're all included, like the LGBTQ group that you had out, like they identify as LGBTQ. They came to the black men run. It's just a label for like,
right.
It's not an end all be all. It's not like you're only a black man. It's not like you're only LGBTQ. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like look at me. I'm a white guy. Look at you. You're a black guy. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. Like, let's go run. Let's go support a cause. Let's go.
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean? Like that's.
And that's the thing. You have a lot of like that situation going on to where like a lot of the run groups here in Philly are, in my opinion, is they can kind of be biased on a lot of things, and it's not about they're going to do what they're going to do, And I'm not knocking them for that, but this community engagement thing is happening to my culture, the Latino community, Black community. We're the ones getting stereotyped the most, but we're not putting it as we're angry people out here trying to run and bully somebody. I felt like. What did we? I say, it was crazy. I said, I think a few officers in Philly seen that it was the black and brown community, like, collectively running together, and they thought it was a protest instead of an actual run. I noticed a couple of looks that we got on our first couple of trips in these neighborhoods.
That's brutal.
Just want you to be fair and understand that I'm not, I'm not being aware. I am aware because I noticed what was going on. I said because they thought.
That's an interesting
like an act of
point,
violence.
though. That really is an interesting point. Do you call these like municipalities before you run, or like these little like towns that you're running through? Like, do you call them and let them know, like, hey, there's going to be like, I don't know how many people are running with you guys. Is there like?
Oh wow! So you may have 10 to 15, maybe 20, and we come like.
It's a lot of
heavy.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you So do you like let people know that like you're going to be running through that area, or?
No. Only people that know are like, so our main locations are at the rec centers of the communities that we're running in. We meet right there at those rec centers.
Because that's kind of like a central community
that's
focal
central,
point.
exactly.
Especially where the kids are, right? Yeah.
Yep, the basketball courts are there.
Yeah.
So now they get to see us warming up. They get to see us, and we play basketball with a couple of the kids out there.
That's cool.
And we got it on film because it's about the youth. So they see us engaging with these kids. And the thing is, these kids welcome us in their neighborhoods. Like, they want that. They don't have it because you got to think about it. If you want to hear a gunshot, you're running because you want to duck for cover.
Yeah.
You're like 9 or 8 years old, and you're running and ducking for cover because you were just on the court playing basketball. But now you see this big presence on a court full of black men and Latino men dressed up in like running gear, warming up, got flags. Their interests made them come over to us to ask themselves, what is this?
That's cool.
We told them what it was about. We recorded them on a video and everything, made sure everything was cool with the parents, posted it. Because the parents was even out there. The parents was out there and they seen it, but they're like, well, we need more people like this. Like, we need more men like you guys to constantly do this all the time. They told us that.
Well, that's a big issue in the African American community too, right? Is there's the lack of leadership in men, and maybe not lack in leadership, but like the lack of a father figure for a lot of kids growing up in that area, right? I mean, that's
yes.
So I mean, to see that, like, it's like like in the Avengers, like a hero scene. You know what I mean? Just like 20 dudes just coming over the horizon to the rec center, and as a kid, you're like, "Who's that?" I could see that being a really powerful moment for a kid.
Right.
20 years down the road, I could totally see a kid in an interview being like, I was playing basketball and I wasn't doing great in school, and one day I just saw this group of guys and they came and talked to me, and I could totally see that. Like, that's got to be life changing for some of these kids.
Well, it is, because even now I do a lot of engagement with my old high school. So I'm like a pen pal to some of the one of the kids there. We just actually ended our pen pal thing because he's about to graduate. But we were talking and he's telling me, what was going on with him, and I emailed him back, gave him like resources and stuff, and he's going to be one of the first in his family to go to college.
Wow.
And
that's
we talked about that. Yeah, and I kept him motivated. I said, listen, I know you don't know many people, that dad's successful, whatever. But let's get out of that part of the stereotype for you right now. You know me. We're talking. I'm from the same high school you're from, same neighborhood you're from, and I made it too. I never
Yeah.
left my neighborhood. I'm still in my neighborhood. And I want these kids to see, listen, this is the impact. I'm doing a lot. And you can follow it on the social media if you see it. And then like I see these kids every now and then, and I told him we talked like about careers, everything that I've done, so
Yeah.
he understood that, he appreciated that, and I appreciated him actually listening to have that ear for that, and then like he's like, you know, I just don't want to fail. I say, but listen, you're going to fail at something, but the problem is, the solution to that failure is to work hard so that won't happen again. But that's going to be your stepping stone. That failure part
Yeah.
is going to say, okay, what did I make? What mistake did I make to fail?
Well, that's the
So I
thing.
won't make
Is
that
the
mistake
more
again.
the more successful you're going to be, the more you're going to fail. You got to get comfortable with
Exactly.
failing. Yeah, that's the process. If you're scared to
Yes.
fail, you're just never going to do well.
You're not going to do well at all.
Yeah.
And I understand like the neighborhood, the rough neighborhood. So again, you put a zip code in Philadelphia, and they already got an expectancy of you either being in jail or shot already before you hit 21.
Wow.
So it's like, so now what they see us doing more, engaging with these kids, trying to keep the community centers open, trying to keep these kids educated. I'm not forcing any kid to go to college. I'll get you in a trade school, try to help you build an LLC, anything to keep
Just
you
something
from going.
moving forward.
Yeah, moving forward.
Yeah.
And the stereotype, I say, in order to, beat the stereotype, you have to stop becoming a stereotype.
Yeah.
So I put it out there for them.
Well, you know what it reminds me of is, I don't know if you've ever heard the analogy. I forgot the specific animal. I think it's a crab, like crabs being boiled in a pot. Have you ever heard this analogy?
Like crabs in a barrel.
Crabs, yeah, they're all just
Yeah.
pushing each other down. But if
Yep.
they realize that they could just work together, they can all get
They
out.
climb up, all can get out. Yep.
That's what it reminds me of. You're like one of the first crabs that's like, come on, let's go. And then that's you pulling this kid, towards the direction of college, and that manifests, that duplicates. That's now everyone that he knows in his network and his circle of influence is going to see him going to college, and being successful. And wow, like you said, I went to the same high school as you, man, and I'm standing here. I made it. I'm nobody special. It's not like I'm anointed from God to be here today.
Right.
I worked. I just I chose my path that wasn't going to be one of jail or violence or drug dealing or whatever. And
Yeah.
I think that's so cool, man. It's that sense, and it all goes back to that sense of community, like you were talking about, that you're creating, that you're a focal point of. And I'll tell you, at the beginning of the show, I played the jingle. I know you didn't hear it, but it says, get ready to get inspired. And I talk to people who I think do inspiring stuff. And I have to tip my hat to you. I think you're one of the most inspiring people I've talked to so far, man. It's, my question, and so this is another thing that I wanted to ask you, like now that we've gotten so far down the road about all the stuff that you do, something that drives me nuts is when I hear people say, well, like someone listening to this right now, they don't know you, right? This is the first time that they're talking to you. This is the first time I'm talking to you. But, someone listening to this could say, yeah, this is all fine and dandy that he's doing all this stuff, but I have a job. You hear that all the time, right? I work all day. I'm tired. When I get done with work, I don't have time for all this stuff. So what say you to that? Because I know that you're a full-time, employee.
Right.
So go ahead and talk about, like, how do you fit all this in along with a full-time gig? And it's not like, no offense to anyone who works at McDonald's or anything, but like it's not like some, you're an IT guy. Like this is
Right,
not.
right.
Yeah. So go ahead, man. I just, what would you say to people like that?
I ask, you make time what you want to make time for. Your motive, it's like that's whatever motivates you to get out of bed and want to go to work, it's going to be the same motivation to get you going for something that you're passionate about. A lot of people, that's the reason why a lot of these kids out here now saying that they're tired, they can't do anything. If they see that you're not trying to say, hey, you have a single parent that can hold down a job, still come home and cook food for their kid, and make sure they got clothes on their back. It's like you can do the same thing in terms of, hey, like, and the mother probably still goes out here to, let's say like a community meeting or something like that, just to stay engaged, because she want to make sure her family is safe. When you're working, I work in IT. I'm never really off. My job respects what I do and actually supports me. This is the only job that I had that supports me. The rest of my jobs, that's great, but you still need to make sure you get to work. Finding something that you're passionate about and they really see that, because they know people may say they use it as an excuse to get out of work. Mm-hmm. So for me, you have to be passionate about what you're doing in order for you to say, hey, yeah, I go to work, but I still got to make sure I do this part for the kids or just for myself. It's holding yourself accountable. No one's perfect. Mm-hmm. No one's perfect. I do a lot of stuff because I'm able to do a lot of things, like with my job, with the community, and I break it down into days, and I'm not around them that long to where I'm going to drain myself out. Like if I wear myself thin, this won't work. Mm-hmm. So I have to kind of make sure self-care comes in at some point.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, yeah.
Because you're going to have your ups and downs, your good days, your bad days when it comes to stuff like this. It's like I deal with the kids. I have some rough kids to deal with, and I know I just had a long day at work. But when I'm out there running with them, that stuff kind of subsides down, and I can kind of think clearly. Mm-hmm. So I put it as you make time for what you want to make time for if you're passionate about what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think that's the key word that you touched on right there is passion. I think there's just so many people out there that are just kind of sleepwalking through life and don't ever find a passion and, turn around at, 45, 50 years old and start to panic and have that midlife crisis because you've just you've just kind of, done a job you don't like, watch TV, go to bed. Done a job you don't like, watch TV, live to Friday. Friday comes along, you get hammered, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you're just
that's
doing
like
this,
everyday life.
Yeah, it's just rinse and repeat, for 30 years. And then all of a sudden you turn around and you're like, oh my God, I never found a passion. And I just love that. I love talking to people like you because that to me, this is the genius of the internet, is the ability to just find people who, I guess it's a blessing and a curse, but to find like-minded, driven individuals and just collaborate and just chat and just it goes back to, like we said, the iron sharpens iron kind of thing,
Right.
Because my Facebook feed and my Twitter feed and Instagram, it's all just people doing really cool shit, and it's not, political arguments and it's not, negativity. You can make it that if you'd like, and that's why I said if you wanted to find like-minded people, it's a blessing and a curse,
Right.
If I want to believe that Trump's still president, I could make that my reality if I want to on Twitter. You know what I mean? You can make whatever reality you want to be a reality, but
to change that.
Yeah, that's right. But
you just change it, and then that's when the argument starts. I mean, it's a lot of people. I had I did a walk, of Stop the Violence walk, and we posted it on social media. And the post, the handle is called No Gun Zone. They put all the stuff up there, whether it's good or bad, because they want people to see this is what's going on in Philly and what we need to change, and this is what we're changing now. So we posted it up there. It got to No Gun Zone, walking, and then you have someone just make a crazy comment and say, watch somebody get shot after this march is over with. What? And I'm like, seriously? Why? What's the matter? What was the meaning? Like, what is wrong with you? What? And I got pissed off. I'm like, and I wanted to say something back. Like I was in the front line of that march. I said, so why is it that you'll be all for protesting down in Philadelphia with everything, and you see the riot squad coming out with tear gas and stuff, and you all for that, and we're out here just doing a nonviolent walk,
right?
With not that much cop presence, but the cops that's from this neighborhood.
And it's not even like a politically divisive. It's please stop shooting people. That's it.
Thank you. That's it. You're not doing nothing else.
Who disagrees with that?
Apparently someone, because I'm like, are you serious right now? This is what ridiculous. We're doing. Well, you see what's going on.
one of my favorite, I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and he always just says, like, don't read the comments. And it's so hard. It's hard not to.
It is. It is. Because I want to see the positive comments, but the negative is like right before the positive.
That's right. But you remember, you could have 100 positive comments in a row, but you get to that 101st one is negative, that's going to stick with you, because what you just told me, I'm sure you can't verbatim, quote any of the real positive ones, because those don't stick with you. It's those negative ones, and
it bothers you so much, it angers you, and it's like, I want to go do more.
That's right.
I'm going to make, how I look at it is, if I got your attention based off of that, well, I'm about to get your attention again because I'm about to go right back out there and march, do something else, and you keep on.
That's right.
Just keep doing it because you're my motivation right now.
Yeah, I love it, man.
So I don't care. I tell them that all the time. I push through everything. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life that if I tell people this and tell my story, it's like, damn, like that couldn't have been me. Yeah. That's what they were saying. You're more stronger than I am to go through all that. Instead of thinking to yourself, you never know how strong you're going until you get hit with that situation.
That's right. It's all mind. I mean, life is just. That's my worry about the way that the world is now. It's so easy to not be mentally tough. You know what I mean? Like it's easy to just kind of like turtle. Life is. Listen, it's 2021. I mean, we have it super easy, man. Like if the air conditioning is off in our apartments, or our house, we freak out, right? I mean, think about even 100 years ago. You know what I mean? Like it truly is just a great time to be alive. And sure, there's a lot wrong with the world. I mean, I'm not saying that. There's a lot that needs to be fixed and get better. But at the same time, like, be happy and like be mentally tough. Life's not easy. It's just not for anybody. Whether. It's just you need to focus on the positives and you need to focus on yourself and how you carry yourself. And it's just so easy to attack people on social media and on the internet.
Time.
Yeah,
all the time.
I hate that, man. But
I hate it with a passion. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I can't do anything out here without someone being negative. And I'm fine with that because we talked about it so much. It's like, listen, okay. They're not out here doing anything. They're just sitting on the step watching me do it.
Right.
But here's the thing. When they yell about, like, everyone got mad about the whole thing with Black Lives Matter. We know about that. And they say, well, how is it that we can yell that, but we still, killing each other? Okay, I hear you. Mm-hmm. So how can we stop that?
Right.
Where's the solution to that? Because if you're just sitting there complaining about it,
that's right,
and saying something like that, and you see a lot of people that's making these statements too haven't been to a community march. And I'm talking about before the pandemic started. Mm-hmm. We're taking this way back to when Trayvon Martin got killed. Mm-hmm. And I was out there marching in the forefronts. And I was out there going to meetings. These people that say these things don't go to stuff like this, don't educate themselves, but they follow a beat to someone else's drum.
Yeah. I love the idea of, one of the, like, I try to live my life by a lot of golden rules. Just a lot of, I'll be better, trying to better myself to the day that I die. And one of the rules that I always tell myself is, I try not to complain about something if I don't have a solution to fix it. You know what I mean? So I can't just exactly like you said, okay, well, maybe there is a problem there, but what are you bringing to the table, or what are you doing to try to fix this? Because by sitting behind your keyboard and just yelling at people online, that ain't gonna do it. It's not gonna do anything.
No, not at all. Because people are scared, and the thing is, I understand about police brutality and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a victim of dealing with that type of stuff growing up, even in my adult years. But the thing is, if I don't have anyone to kind of like vent this to say, hey, let's try to do this, because we got to get these type of officers off the force and bring somebody in that's professional, that's going to do their job correctly.
Yeah. No, I believe in reform for sure, man.
Yeah,
I definitely, yeah.
Because one year I took the police officer exam.
Did you really?
I took it and I passed it.
Wow.
But I didn't want to be a cop anymore based off of everything that was on that exam that I got right was illegal. They do out here in the street. I said, so all this time that I'm like, are you serious? I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go out here and try to be this righteous officer and like trying to be loved by the community, but I'm gonna do my job. But in the same sense, I'm looking on this exam and this stuff is like this is false, but it's correct. It is false.
Oh,
but
you couldn't.
This is stuff they're doing the opposite of what this question is.
You couldn't pay me enough money to be a cop. That's there's no way I could be a cop for sure.
I mean, I have family and friends in law enforcement and military and stuff, but I chose my own path.
Mm-hmm.
And this path right here is a little bit more sensible for me. That they can talk about me in the military to their mates and stuff, and like, oh, this is your cousin or this is your nephew, and it's in a positive light because oh man, I do see this because my cousin run with them, and that's the connection.
Yeah. And
when they see that, they see I'm really making noise out here, like in a positive way. It's like, man, like today I went to an event before we got on, and I met with one of another state representative, and he said, man, I like what you guys are doing with that hood to hood run. Like this thing went viral.
You're making noise. You're making noise, man. You really are, and you have to follow your calling and what you're doing. It's, I mean, from the hour and 10 minutes we've been talking, I mean, I can tell that it's obvious you're incredibly passionate about this. And
oh yeah, man, I love it a lot. I love dealing with the youth. I got 2 nephews that are their birthdays today. Just turned 17.
Happy birthday.
I got a niece. She's 3. I'm a godfather also. So it's like they look up to me.
Yeah.
And I have to give them that. Like, listen, you guys can do exactly what you can do out here, just like I did.
And you're young. How old are you?
I'm 37.
Oh, wow! Yeah. You do not look 30. Not that that's old, but you don't look 37. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be 35 next month, so we're really close. Yeah.
Yeah, I still get carded in the bars and casinos. They can't believe it either. So I'm like,
well, I don't. I'm aging like an old Italian guy. It's
like another 20 minutes of my life just went away. 'Cause I got to sit there and like they got to scan the ID. They got to look at the year. I'm like, sir, I've been in here before. Like, if you didn't stop me before, why are we going through this motion again? Like, I don't understand. Like, I get stopped at a bar and the guy last year I went out for my birthday. I went to get a drink, and he said I need to see ID. I said, so when I show you this ID, that mean the next drink is free? He's like, what do you mean? I said, I'm about to show you right now. So he looked at the ID. He said, what's today's date? And I said the 24th, August. He was like, oh, well, happy birthday. I said, so yeah, drinks on me. Thank you. I appreciate it. So it kind of has its perks.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like that. I like that a lot. That's funny, man. Yeah, I don't get carded anymore. My fiance, she still gets carded. She just turned 30 last year, and she's real small though. So then whenever we go out, they'll ask her for an ID, and then I'm just standing there. They'll look at me. They'll just go, "All right, you're good." I'm like, damn it.
I got stopped by the cops for curfew.
What?
And yeah, for curfew.
Wait, what do you mean curfew?
Over.
What's that mean?
Like they had like a curfew thing. Like you had to be in the house after 12 o'clock. You need to be 21 or older to be outside. Right?
Wait,
I was working late. This was like a while back. So
is that still a thing?
No, it's not now. Not now. But in the past, I was so pissed off.
That's nuts.
I stopped. I had got off the bus because I wasn't driving my car at the time. I put the bus and I got off late because I worked a double. And the cop just like stopped me. I had my duffel bag on my shoulder. He was like, you know what time it is? I'm like, yeah, it's time for me to go to bed. Just got off work. Yeah, like, what? It's like 1:45. Can I help you with something? Like, and I'm on my block too. I'm like 3 more houses and I'm in the middle of the block. So I'm like, he's like, yeah, so you know what time it is? Why are you out here? I said, because I just got off work. I said, and again, can I help you with something? What is the problem? And he asked me how old I was, and I told him I was like 21, 23 or something like that. And I was like, you want to see some ID? And he said, no, because your voice is deep as shit. You can go ahead and have a good night. I said, okay. Whatever. I said, y'all a bunch of weirdos.
You should have told him, hey, if you give me my ID, you owe me a drink if I'm old enough.
Yeah, like I'm like, why y'all scouring the neighborhood this time at night anyway? I thought y'all would have been back at the station. Like, the shift didn't change or something? Like,
sometimes you wonder, like, don't you have anything better to do? Like, this is your biggest issue right now?
Yeah, like, I did get stopped in my car before, and he took my license and everything and gave me back my insurance, but he just took my license. And I literally was parked up the street from my house. And he just gave my stuff back and said, have a good night. Mr. Miles.
That's so weird. What a weird
Like,
rule.
what?
I never heard of that
What is
before.
going on? They had, because you know what was going on was the younger kids were out here, getting into trouble, and again that youth violence happened again. So they put a stamp on a curfew and said, hey, between the hours of 9 and 10, they need to be in the house. If if you're an adult and you out here past 11 or 12 o'clock, you can be out here as long as you want to, but the kids can't be,
Gotcha.
and that's including teenagers. If you're under 18, that's a no-go. If you're under 18, you get to like 11. If you're 18, they get you to like 12 o'clock.
Never heard
But
of
it's
it.
if they catch you.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
they had it here. Philly had a lot of different laws here, and they didn't last long
Yeah, well, it
It-
seems like it's impossible to enforce. Like, how the hell would you enforce that?
because everybody doesn't look their age.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I went into a casino, and I had two guys in front of me. One was 25, and the other was 21. They never got carded when they walked in. I got carded.
That's stupid.
And I said, sir, I'm older than both of these guys that just walked in here. Are you serious? So, mad but happy in a way, like, damn, I'm doing something right to stay healthy.
Right. Saw the running. Saw the
Yeah,
good
running.
you're doing in the world, man. It's,
Yeah.
it's the universe giving back to you, right?
Yeah, so I'm like, but then the other part, I said, sir, why? I got a full-on beard. What is the problem?
What more do I have to do? Yeah.
I was like, high school. I said, what is that?
Yeah, I rode my dinosaur to school, to high school when I was a kid. So yeah, that's I think I'm old enough to enter there.
Yeah, like I got stopped in my high school because I was buying some merchandise from my high school to rep like my high school, and the guard that was in there where you had to go to the metal detector was like, you should have been in class. School class already started. So I looked at him again. I said, excuse me.
High school.
I was like,
No
I'm like,
offense. You look young, but not that young.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So now I really took offense to that.
Yeah.
I was like through the roof. I'm like, are you talking to me?
Maybe
or was it
Philly's
somebody
just
else?
all
Like,
in on this like big practical joke, and they're all in on it except for you. Maybe that's it.
yeah, I'm thinking that too. So I walk up. I said, sir, I graduated a long time ago. You need to fix your glasses because I know I'm not.
Well, I was going to ask you too. I can only see if you want to stand up a little bit. We can't see your shirt.
Oh, this shirt here?
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
So for those just listening, it says he's got the Black Men Run shirt on, and it's like a silhouette of a guy running. And
Yep.
then I like that pattern too. That's sharp, and it looks like it's good material to run in. Huh?
Oh, definitely good material, man. They came a long way with the material. I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, I like it. It looks comfy. It kind of looks like an Under Armour type shirt.
Yeah. They got my Philly patch on the side.
Oh, nice. So there's the LA and then the Florida one, right?
Yep. So everyone has their patch from where the city they're from, and we have a heavy connection with New Jersey. A heavy connection because we're right across the.
I was going to say the river's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have this other heavy connection with the rest of the group in North Carolina and D.C., New York. They come heavy because they come visit us in Philly.
That's
for the
what part of
for the
Carolina?
marathon. I think Raleigh.
Oh, okay.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. I used to live in
so-
Charlotte. That's what I was asking. I lived in Charlotte
Okay.
for 3
Well,
years.
Charlotte has one too.
Oh, wow. Okay, so there's more than just the 3.
Yep.
Are there any in
Yeah.
Texas?
Not that I think so. I forgot what part, but I know they have one in Texas though.
Nice. Well, if there's one in Dallas, man, you ever come out here? You ever been to Texas?
Not yet. I've been. That's one of my on my list. So I'm just coming since the pandemic is kind of over. I can get back to my traveling list now.
Yo, let's be honest, man. The pandemic's been over in Texas for a long time.
Yeah. Yep. They wouldn't let us out of Philly. I felt like it was like Resident Evil over here or something. So I was
Dude,
like,
that's
they're
how all
locking
my
us
family
down.
was. That's how Buffalo was too. New York, yeah, same thing, man.
Yeah, I was like, I can't go to New York because you're going to stop me. I can't go to Jersey because you're going to stop me. So I'm in containment in Philadelphia. That's what you're telling
wild,
me.
man. Yeah, Texas.
And they
has been
just
like-
opened the airport. I'm like, okay, cool. Now back to my list.
Yeah, let's go, baby. Hey, you're more than what you got a place whenever you come down here, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, how I got down here is my original goal was to work for the Buffalo Bills or the Sabres. And,
okay.
that was like my goal. And I got a job with FC Dallas, the Major League Soccer team here. And
okay.
I'd never been to Texas before, and me and my fiance were just like, you know what? Like, I put my resume across the country, and FC Dallas is the team that gave me a shot, and I was like, this is just going to be like a 3 year thing, you know, and then, you know, we'll get the experience we need, and then we'll go back to Buffalo, and then, you know, live the rest of our lives there. Well, you know, the pandemic happened and kind of changed things, but once we got here, I'll tell you, man, like, we never want to leave Texas. We love this place, man. It's incredible. Where we live in Frisco. It's like maybe like 45 minutes north of Dallas, 40 minutes north of Dallas. But it's where the Cowboys practice facility is, and it's where the Dallas Stars practice, and there's a minor league baseball park with a lazy river in the outfield, and everything's just moving up here, dude. It's incredible up here, man. So I work out at the Cowboys practice facility every day. So
oh man, that's
yeah, dude. The pool that I swim in is on the roof of the facility, and it overlooks their practice field. So I was done swimming the other day, and I was just watching Dak just practice. I mean, being from Philly, that's probably triggering you, so I apologize.
You're fine. You're fine. But see, you're over there saying that, which is great.
Yeah,
I'm worried about the Dallas fans in Philly.
Yeah. We don't. Yeah, that's. I would. And let's be perfectly honest here. Go Bills. I'm a Bills fan. So.
Oh, yeah, see, well, you're great. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, my fight is with the Dallas people here. They don't even know half of the team.
Yeah, that's everywhere. It's like they were super good back in that. They beat the Bills in 2 Super Bowls, so that's what like got them to that freaking spot. And yeah, there's a lot of them that have just can't even point to Dallas on a map, right? And
no, I took it way back to when Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman was playing. And I'm like, if you a true fan, you need to tell me. I didn't even say their names. Give me somebody in the 90s.
Yeah.
If we're around the same age. If you don't know that, you're not a fan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, I knew all of them because they beat the Bills, went to 4 Super Bowls in a row and lost every one, and 2 of them were to the Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah. That was horrible.
No, it was sick, though. A couple years ago, the Bills came down here, and they played in Dallas on Thanksgiving. And me and my fiance got tickets, so we got to go to the game. And it was like Josh Allen's coming out party, and we beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. And like we're never on prime time, let alone winning on prime time. So it was such a cool experience. And AT&T Stadium is just. It looks like a spaceship. Like when you come up to it.
Yeah. Because I see it on TV a lot. I didn't see this in real form, like just to look at it.
Oh, so. It's no. I played in a couple flag football tournaments. They played it literally on the turf, so I've been on the field there. And on Saturday, I'm doing a Spartan race, my first Spartan race, and it's at.
I got that on a list too.
Yeah, well, it's at AT&T Stadium, so it's. I'm running up in the locker rooms and all in the field and all over the concourses and stuff. So I'm looking forward to this. Will be my first one. So.
I'm waiting to see when they're gonna have one like back at because they had one before in the Link in Philly.
Oh yeah.
And I missed it. So hopefully my first Spartan it could be there and I can go further out.
I'll report back and let you know how it is. I'm looking forward to it.
Most definitely, yes. Definitely let me know how it goes.
I will for sure. Mo Allen, how you doing, man? He just hopped on here. But the last thing I wanted to ask you about really quick, because I don't want to take up much more of your time. We've already been talking for an hour and 20 minutes, believe it or not.
That's fine. I'm off for work.
Well, you're off of work, but I know you got a million different things going on, so I don't want to take up much of your time. But of your million labels, you said personal trainer too. So when you say personal trainer, like what kind of stuff do you do?
Strength and conditioning training for people. So I got a lot of people now that are just looking to lose the weight and tone up. So they give me a call, we set up some sessions, and we go for it. A lot of my workouts are outside workouts in the park, on a track, kind of get them motivated to do more, just not staying in the gym.
Yeah, I love that. No, that's What are you certified through anybody, or you just?
Yes. So I'm certified through the ISSA. That's the ESA training. Yeah. So, yeah.
I just signed up for NASM. I literally just signed up for it, so I'm starting that program now.
Yeah. I have some friends that signed up for that too. They was giving out a great deal I couldn't pass up. And then I was already kind of like being an inspiration to people and motivating people, but they
Yeah.
wanted me to start training them. And I did at first, didn't think nothing of it. Cause it's only 2 or 3 people, whatever. I know these people personally,
Yeah.
no big deal. But their friends they brought over were like, "Hey, was he certified?" And when they start saying that to me in my head, I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Let me go get this now.
Yeah. That's
Because
exactly right. Yep.
yeah,
That's my
because
same exact mindset that I'm going through right now. That's why I'm just like, I'm going to
right,
get this training certification. So then, because I'm experiencing the same exact thing you're talking about, man. So I know you don't want
yeah,
to, you don't want to be training someone, and then all of a sudden, they tear an ACL or something. Now all of a sudden, you're $100,000 in the hole with lawsuits up the ass, right?
yeah. Because a lot of people you can't really be out here trying to train, but
That's right. Yeah.
so I try to stay like because it's the summertime.
Yeah.
I try to stay out of the gym as much as possible to have them go to a track because I have a lot of workout equipment that I bring with me anyway because I use it myself. But to get them motivated, especially ones that say, "Hey, I'm 300 pounds, I'm trying to come down." Of course, you go to the gym and go on a treadmill and try to burn it that way and work out on the weights or whatever. But how about we do it this way?
Yeah.
This way is more efficient.
And what would they need you for? What are you going to go
Yeah.
stand next to them at a treadmill and just go, "Good job, you're
Right.
walking."
And then you got to think about it. A lot of gyms don't let you do personal training.
Yeah,
in their gym.
most don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just recently got flagged for them saying that I was training, but I had brought a friend into the gym because she wanted to go to a gym. And we were working out together. And next thing you know, they thought I was like, "Oh, well, I said, so you saw me personal training, but I had weights in both of my hands and she had weights in both of her hands. And we were just working out, timing each other and hold each other accountable." I said, "Yeah, I'm about to cancel my membership."
Yeah, that
That's it.
sucks. Yeah,
So they're making it more easier for me to go to a private gym. Because now once you get the certification and people know, the one thing I can say about having that cert is that I got so many people hitting me up in my inbox now.
nice.
Yeah. being on the track, working out, running a lot. Of course, everyone knows I run. But just being like that motivator to push them past their limit.
Yeah.
And now I got people that own their own gyms. Like, "Hey, you should come and work out here, bring your clients here, and we can work something out with you paying rent."
See, I think that's the next wave, or maybe not wave, but like that. I think that's the next evolution of training, or just gyms in particular. It's like, yeah, you can go to a gym, go to like Planet Fitness or 24 Hour or whatever, and pay your $10 a month, but like, you just go and you walk around and you're not really doing much. You know what I mean? Like, how many people are
Right.
actually like going to a gym like that, and, like having life-changing workouts? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I love like I'm a huge fan of F45. I've been going there recently.
Yeah, I have people that work at F45 here in Philly.
Do you really? Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
obsessed
yeah.
with this place, man.
Yeah.
I go to the 6 a.m. class every day, and it is a freaking grind, man. It's like you're saying, probably very similar to like what you do. It's it's a high intensity, nonstop, all different kinds of functional movement. I mean, I don't have to explain to you what it is. You know what it is.
Oh
but-
yeah, definitely. I love like to see stuff like that. One of my students at graduate high school, he actually works at F45.
Really?
And he got certified. So, so he actually stayed in shape because we ran again together probably 2 months ago. And I said, "Oh, I see you still keep it with our regimen, huh? You taking over to the gym." And then when he got certified, he showed me. I said, "So now I need you to be the motivator for somebody else."
That's right. It's like we were talking about before,
yeah.
right? It's just
Yep.
you are really single-handedly developing this really cool community, man. That's you should be really proud of that.
I
I'm
really am.
serious. Yeah.
I really am. I mean, I even ran down my block, and the people out here showed nothing but love. Like, just seeing how I want people to see it through my eyes. Like, this is my neighborhood. This is what I had to go through. These are the challenges that I faced and I got through. I had to fight to get through, and you guys can do the same. So you have to push forward. I mean, like running and going to the gym and biking. This is therapy for me.
Yeah.
Therapy for me can be more of a motivation for them.
Yeah. That's wow. That's a great way of putting that, man. That's awesome. So Mo is late. So we have a comment here. So he said he late to the conversation, but Leroy looks like a bigger guy. Curious if there were any discussions of running as a bigger guy, because Mo is 6'2", 210, which is on the larger side for triathlete. He said he could listen to the podcast later to catch up. We didn't talk about that.
Okay.
So we did talk about Mo that Leroy was a sprinter. So that's why he's so friggin' jacked. But yeah, so I'll let you, go on there, Leroy.
Oh yeah. So for if you're looking to do like triathlete or just you want to, get into a sprinting shape, I would just prefer you gotta look at your diet. Most of the time, people don't think that it is a factor. It really is. So your diet would have to change, and if you're trying to come down on the weight, then you would do more cardio and less of going in there getting hitting the weights too much, because what's going on is that's taking away a lot of oxygen as you're running these marathons. Anything past 5 or 6 miles,
right?
You're going to start to walk at the 2 or 3 based on that weight.
And I'd imagine, and this is just from my limited knowledge, but as your body develops, you kind of develop that base, you were a sprinter, it sounds like your whole life until, the age of, how old were you when you started getting into marathons?
32.
32, okay. And you're 37 now, like you said.
Yep.
How did you see your body transform, a bit from, when you made the transition to diving into marathon training?
Definitely.
You condensed a lot? Yeah.
Yeah, so what happened was I went from wearing an extra large shirt, 2X shirt, to now I'm down to a medium.
Wow.
And I didn't realize I'm going to the store putting on Under Armour and stuff like that. And when I said, why is this fitting so loosely like this? None of my shirts ever did that.
Yeah.
So after a while, I also started to develop more of a better lung capacity too, to run. But I kept it at a certain weight because I was 198 at one point, and I dropped it to 178.
I was going to ask you, how tall are you?
I am 5'7".
Wow, so you were 5'7", 198. Mm-hmm. And you were never overweight. You were just jacked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost. So
wow, that's pretty beastly, man.
Well, I played running back in school too, and for neighborhood league. So I played the running back. So it was I had to kind of. I didn't want nobody to knock me off my feet because I wasn't that tall. Everybody was taller than me.
I'm going to throw it back here. You were I'm going to do a Philly reference. You were Deuce Staley, right?
Pretty much. So yeah, I take it definitely find a comfortable shoe if you're going to do this too. Me, I'm rocking Owens. So, but yeah, it's all about weight control. Where you want to be at with this, because if you're trying to drop your times in a marathon, your weight the weight is going to play a huge factor. Now
I know you said earlier we did talk about a injury that you had. It was your knee, right? When you first.
Yes.
And how did you get that injury? Was that with sprinting?
Yeah, that was with sprinting. So this was a high school injury that actually followed me all the way to college.
Nice.
So we wound up running in the divisional track meet for high school. I was running around the track. I did multiple events that day because I was just in the zone. First place of everything that we did. I ran across the finish line. I heard a pop. And everybody was cheering for me and jumping up and down, but they didn't. I was crying, but I wasn't crying for tears of joy. I was crying for them to put me down because I could only feel my right leg. I couldn't feel my left leg.
Oh no.
So when they put me down, the bone, it didn't break the skin, but it was poking out.
Oh my God! You popped it that bad.
Popped it, yeah. So the ambulance came, and of course, he's like, "Well, it's not." They kind of popped it back in. It was out of place,
right?
And it hurt like hell. So I was out for the rest of my junior year for the season. I was going to school, so in the midst of that, I sprained my ankle and pulled my hamstring on the same leg.
Oh my God!
So I had a whole brace on.
Yeah.
So when I got to college. And I started running again, everything seemed cool. And I decided to play basketball on an intramural team. Went for a layup, and this guy that clipped the same knee I had the injury in, and it went right back to that again. So it was time for therapy at this point.
Yeah.
It was a wrap. And I said, okay, I had to stop BSing around. I was scared to walk for a while. And I felt like every time I ran, I would lose balance. So what I had to do was I had to push myself, to I had to push myself to kind of get up and not be fearful. I get the fear out of my eyes.
Right.
And I said, you know what, I got to do it. So I just took
it's
baby
not easy.
steps.
It's not easy. Yeah.
No. And I had got the injury again doing a Broad Street run, but it never popped out. It was just kind of sore. And I went back to therapy again, and I got myself together. So I started taking my time. And now, as fast as I be sprinting again like I'm doing, even on the track, you wouldn't think I had an injury.
Wow.
But I got, I still feel something, but it's not something where, it's going to pop out.
Right.
Or something. Now I got it where it's fully healed. I'm not having that issue anymore. And anybody that has that issue, I can kind of walk them through it now, because people, a lot of the people I run with had similar injuries, if not something worse.
Yeah. I mean, I think, too, I know I'm a little guy, but I also played football, too. I actually went to a Philadelphia Soul tryout.
Oh, I was about to do the same.
Yeah. Jaworski was there, and he's from Buffalo. And
right.
When we went to the tryout, he was the nicest. At the time, he was on ESPN, and my dad at the time, we drove down together, and my dad was on the sidelines watching the tryout, and I walked up to Ron. I was just like, "Hey, I'm from Buffalo. Just wanted to introduce myself, say hello." And he's just he talked just like he did on ESPN. He's like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you, son. Where are you? What part of Buffalo are you from?" And then he actually went over and introduced himself to my dad. I just thought that was the coolest. He didn't have to do that, But,
right.
But anyway,
that was cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. But side note, but I think playing football, we all have these nagging injuries that we just deal with.
Yeah.
It's kind of like gladiator wounds. You know what I mean? It's a sacrifice you make for playing the best sport in the world, right?
Of course. I mean, I still, even though I was on a brace, I went to school that next day or whatever, that next week, and I was like, man, I know I can't practice with you guys, but just to see my face on this newspaper a little bit, or on this thing, and say I did that, I'm fine.
That's cool.
I can sit back and stretch my leg out and be like, yep, I did it for the team.
I love that. Well, hey, being a football guy, you definitely got to come down here to Texas now, because the high school football here is absolutely insane.
I bet. I definitely got to make my way down.
One of my buddies just moved across. He lives in Allen, Texas. It's right down the road here. It's just Dallas is so big. Each one of the little towns around downtown is its own city. So he lives in Allen, and Allen is where Kyler Murray went a couple years ago. Well,
okay.
Not a couple years ago, but that's where he went to high school. And it seats 20,000. I think sells out every game. Just nuts.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's 6A. It's crazy.
Wow.
So Mo, who's listening, actually has done the Broad Street 10-miler once.
Oh, great.
Yeah. He said his only marathon and half marathons were in Philly as well, aside from the half Ironman tries he's done. He's from South Jersey.
So that's why. Great.
Yeah. So
we can actually meet up.
Mo, so you're going to want to look into his organizations that he's working with. His Black Men Run is one of the coolest things I've really ever come across, as far as
they actually have one in South Jersey too, if he wants to check it out. I know the captain there.
Camden, right? Is that the Camden one?
It's one in Camden, and it's one in South Jersey, Atlantic City.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Very cool. So Mo, we're going to put the links in there in the show notes when we're done. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and maybe get some runs in for some really cool causes. They're basically they run to stop gun violence in areas in their neighborhoods, and you can listen to it. The Hood to Hood run is something that really gained a lot of press coverage from their most recent run. So really cool group of people and really good cause. So thanks for chiming in there. That's pretty cool. Small world, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I would I would be in Atlantic City to do a Bungalow Beach 5-miler.
Okay.
So never ran on a beach on a race. So this will be pretty fun.
It's hard. That's definitely hard. And 5 miles on a beach, that's going to be pretty brutal.
Well, it starts on the beach, goes into the boardwalk, onto the streets, and then back onto the beach.
Cool.
So
that'll be really neat, man.
We'll see what happens. I'm gonna try to PR.
Good luck, and then you can hit the slots afterwards if you're feeling lucky, right?
Oh yeah, they always try to get me to hit the slots when I'm over there.
And Mo said that he is doing the IM 70.3 in Atlantic City in September. So, the half Ironman. And he said he's African American as well. I knew that, but you obviously did not know that, Leroy. So
okay.
There you go.
Well, listen. Everyone's more than welcome. We could definitely shoot them information. Definitely look into those guys in Jersey. There's some good group of guys, man. They definitely motivate each other over there in Jersey. You will find more of a brotherhood and family.
I love
over
it.
there. So
well, look them up.
They look out.
Mo, look him up on Facebook, Leroy Miles. Shoot him a friend request, and I'm sure Leroy will say yes.
Most definitely, yeah, most definitely. The more the merrier. We try to keep it strong. So we have like a little annual run for like Philly and Jersey to come together, and we run, the bridge and come on this side and come back over. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, and that's another thing too is like we talked about the positivity of just finding driven, motivated, people that are, kind and kind of have the same goals in mind. I spend a lot of time. I don't know if you could tell behind me. This is my bike, my tri bike right here.
Oh yeah, I know. I'll peep.
Okay. And I tried. So behind this is my laptop that we're talking on, but behind it is my TV, and I have Zwift set up on the TV. So do you know what Zwift is? Have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
Cool. So I ride Zwift a lot on on Twitch. I stream a lot on Twitch, and that's how I met Mo. So it's just it's a community. You're just building this community
definitely.
Of really cool people that are doing inspiring stuff, and that's really the whole point of this.
I think and it's always like this. Like people say, well, you run and you bike. Now I'm biking. And everything. And then it's the medal count for a lot of us too. We kind of give this little joke, how many medals you got,
So this right here, I don't know if you can see behind me.
Yep.
I only put the ones up that I win. I never put the participation ones up. I throw those out. So those are the only ones that I keep the ones that I earn. That's I have some more, but it's humble brag. It'd be too heavy. It would fall off the wall if I put all of them.
Yeah. So mine is actually doing the same. Mine is it was sitting like this perfect, and I added some more, and it did that.
Yeah.
So we had it only supposed to hold 96 on that metal rack.
That's it. 96.
And I try to get 115 on there, and we had a little dilemma. So it's not working out.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. We've been talking for close to an hour and 45 minutes. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on here. And
Not a problem.
I mean, as with every guest, this is completely just off the cuff. We just had a candid conversation, so I always like to give you the last word. Was there anything we didn't cover that you thought we might have, or any last words that you would like to just put out to the universe? The floor is yours, my friend.
Honestly, I just want people to keep an open mind, man. Stay passionate about something that you're doing. Stay highly motivated, and try to lead by example. So those are some words to understand. When you're in the fitness world and you're out here doing stuff, make sure that you're doing it for you and not for no one else. Step out, go outside your element. It's a blessing when you go outside your element and understand where people actually will know this is you. This is what you really do. And I always come off. I do a lot of videos when I'm done, and I always call people my fit family when I get on live or do a video. And at the end, I'm gonna say it again with the end of here. Just stay fit, stay focused, and stay safe.
I love it. Those are wise words from an inspirational man. Everything that you're doing is just great work, man. And I'm happy to have had you on here because you were definitely someone who I think a lot of people will draw inspiration from. And for anyone listening, we're going to put all of his links in our show notes, so you can take a look at all the different organizations that he's working with, and we'll definitely want to put your personal profiles in there too, so people can watch your live streams and follow your progress and stuff like that, and
Definitely
see you hit that hour 45 half marathon and beyond, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan.
Very
the Philly
cool,
distance run is going to be where I do it. So
he's even got the date, September. All right, let's go, baby. All right, well, thanks for watching, everybody, and Leroy, thanks for joining me again.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
All right.